This is such an amazing crowd, and I am so excited to be here to do my performance. I want to take you on a journey of my first year in transition. And it's a mixture of poetry and then some narrative spoken word. Such a rush for just 15 bills. Could this be the start of some feminine thrills? Tomorrow I'll know if all this is wrong. Tonight I'm excited. I just bought 5 thongs. 4 weeks in, she's switching out my polo shirts for blouses and skirts, and I love the new feel that my shoes all have heels. Some purchased on Amazon so I can dress like the Amazon warrior I was meant to be. Alicia is radiant, happy, and free. Your boobs are fake, you've got no hips, and without Botox in your lips, how can you be passing? My brothers and sisters is passing me perfection because after reflection, I see an infection caused by the intersection of cishet norms and cultural storms when a toxin forms in our brains that we are not good enough. If I feel I can't pass, it starts a tailspin and I box myself in to a standard of thin and unblemished skin, only wearing what's in with a plastered on grin. Yet a bro on IG is perfectly free to get all surgery just to reinvent himself. School lessons eliminate, trans people eradicate. Yet I'm undeterred. If they try to deter me, I'll justify them, mystify them with magnanimous laughter, keep turning the pages of this special new chapter. I see life as fleeting, so I keep on speeding towards this luminous light. So,
celebrating through you, the light that is you, is absolutely how we benefit from what you've done in your personal journey. And I had written down like just a little note that was charging throughout your step, and when you came to say running towards the light. It's that feeling being part of the collective. When one person emerges from the collective, this dense collective, that we can be seduced into being through life. We can be seduced into being part of the density and the white noise. But when one person rushes away from the crowd and they rush towards authenticity, and we can feel it and we can spot it, that we all just roar and we cheer and we push. We just start to push you forward. So we're like, she's gonna do it though. I think she's gonna get away from this. And if she can get far away, I think she's the one to do it. Like maybe there's hope for us yet. You know? And I think I know the reason that you're experiencing so much positive feedback is because we can feel that excitement that when you break off, you know, like witnessing that, a part of us breaks off too. And it gives that permission and pride in the collective again. We can do this. We can do this. We can be loved. We can really be loved for who we are. And we can be complicated. And we can be vulnerable. And we can be really messy. And we can be a good wife and going through divorce. And another good wife who's going through the divorce, and then it can all make sense somehow. And it will never be justified what happened with Predator's Prey, but man, doesn't it feel so liberating to say the truth in a crowd of people. And even just witnessing that is the hope, as well as breaking away from the density of, if I don't have to hold on to these things, that I can actually scream out the things that silence me. And I can be really loud. I can go to a microphone and I can perform it in the only way that I choose to. And I'll emphasize the parts that need to be louder. And I can be quiet at the times that were so still and haunting and perform it in the way that it should have been. And I'm just so excited to see what poetry has done for you. You're so deserving of being the featured poet. I mean, we're so lucky to have you in the anthology, along with all the poets, of course. But hey, look, you got window admirers. But really, it's a privilege to have you, because I know that we're on the cusp of something really exciting. To watch somebody just break away from the crowd and really rush into it. And so thank you for letting us be a part of the journey. It's an honor beyond words, and it's exciting to see how you've grown as an artist all around, really. So a big round of applause again, please. Well. Thank you for your support. We've gotten to do some of their book fairs. If you guys don't mind, before we go segueing into the open mic, Anthony and I, so I'm Sunny Ray Azzarito. This is my husband, Anthony Azzarito. We own and operate Poets Underground. If this is your first time, welcome. If we haven't seen you in a while, welcome. I see some previous headliners, so happy to see all of you here. But we are an LLC. We have a publishing company, but we also have a 501c3 where we have a Poetry Heals program. We go out to schools. Kind Word Wild's here. He was part of our launch of that. Anthony is a former Army vet, and we have a Poetry Heals program for our active duty and military vets. And we also have a 2-year contract going with Kapanda, and they are an organization that serves refugee children. So the excitement of learning poetry to build your confidence both in the English language as well as just to process extreme trauma is exciting for Anthony and I. It's how we've come to know poetry and love poetry is the truth that trauma kind of happens in fragments and in poetry, that you just kind of remember it in bits and pieces, and suddenly they become one sentence after the other, and you decide when it's over. You decide if you need to go back and edit it, or if it just feels right to stop right there. So it's been an opportunity for us to serve the community, and we're full-time committed to it, and it's an honor to do so. So if we're meeting you for the first time, we're really happy to. We have a very special guest. We have Aubrey Miller. She is the artist of the act of our inception of Poets Underground in 2019. And the three of us are trying to get this airport gig. It's our second year applying for it, but the concept of it is San Diego's so fucking cool with money. I mean, we throw it up the most bizarre shit, right? I worked in the social work field for 20 years, and we definitely have a lot of homeless crisis going on that we could throw more money towards. But they also have a small budget for entertaining those at the airport. Naturally, we want to cash in on this shit, right? So tonight we're going to be videoing a quick 5-minute moment where what we want to bring to the airport is having the spoken word, the written word, and what Aubrey would do is the visual poetry world, right? So bear with us for a second. We have Mitzi over here doing a little filming. She works at a really cool organization. It's called Soul Luna, and if you're not familiar with them, they are a mental health holistic facility real close to here in Hillcrest on University. They take all insurance, and they offer just a really great day program. So if you're looking for some outpatient care that has some alternative healing, something extended, if something came up tonight and you're just looking for long-term connection, Soul Luna is an amazing organization to get connected with or to refer to safely. All right, so how this works is we're going to participate with each other. And throughout the night, Anthony is going to take your word, make a poem out of it. I'm going to write down a poem at some point with it, and Aubrey is going to draw a little for it, okay? So we're going to need, right? Should we do 1 word or 3 words for each concept? We're still gutting this out.
3 words. 3 words.
Do you guys agree? Let's do a little vote.
Okay.
1 word, yell, scream, clap.
Yeah.
So that's a way to ask. Woo! Okay, so all right. Okay, come on, guys. Come on, we need you back. 3 words. Is that good? Let's do it. All right. 3 words it will be. So, all right. First one is for Anthony for the spoken word. What word do you want to throw out?
Lion.
What is that?
Lion.
Lion. So.
Beautiful.
That's so good. You like lion? I already know. All right. I already know Anthony. All right, now we're gonna do for the artist. Aubrey, you better pay attention. This is gonna be your word. Okay, what word?
Caboodle.
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 Caboodle? Aubrey in the back, you hear that?
What is it?
Caboodle.
Caboodle.
Fucked up, huh? We fucked up with an open mic with that one, yes, caboodle. Alright, and then for the written word, can someone give me a word, please? Verbatim. Alright, there, we got two for the verbatim, I'll do verbatim. Alright, so throughout the night, we got lion, caboodle for Aubrey, and then verbatim for me. I got it pretty easy. At least I think so. Alright, so we'll get going, we'll have that in between open micers, and first up to the open mic, Leah, are you still in the room? Yes, sick. Leah is first to the open mic. She's the previous headliner of Poets Underground. She's just a fucking lifesaver to Anthony and I, and we're so stoked to have you. Woo!
Thank you guys so much. I will always say before I tase anyone who is backing me into a corner, including a poem, I don't take shit from my poems, which is also why I constantly stumble over my words. Sorry. Forget everything I write. We're doing vulnerable poetry again. Thank you, Ducks. I hope the launch tweet was good. Sorry.
That she performs it with such laughter and angst and joy, just like Alicia. I swear, every time it's something different, and every time we get so much more out of it in a different way with your poetry, whether it's at, Make It Last Festival or, Verbatim, or even at Queen Bee's. Everything that you do is so freaking awesome. That was probably my favorites. There's a demon inside of me, along with the lion. I don't know which to set free. I don't know whether to show you my shadows or if I can grin and show you my teeth. I have something that I need, something I want to sink my teeth into some meats. I have to set something free. So what's it gonna be? Is it gonna be the masked man underneath this skin that always makes my blood boil? Ah, fuck, I'm not gonna let him win. That's right, I'm gonna let the lion out. I'm gonna show him who I am. I'm gonna show you why I roar and who I am and where I stand. Because this night is the one place and the one time that I'm not gonna let the shadows bring me back down to the front line. I'm going to be there with something to say. I'm going to extend my voice over every wave, everything that's crashing onto me. I will not be afraid. You see, if I need something to say, I'm going to say it like a lion. I'm going to make my presence known. Everybody's going to hear what I have to say from here until I am never alone.
Oh!
Woo!
Oh! Why?
Mitzi, you got that right. Okay. Because I'm gonna need to see it so I can write it down and have it published. I have no idea where it came from. All right. We have Lisa.
Right, yay!
Lisa, please bless the mic.
Yeah. Interrupted.
How are you?
So.
Thank you. So I've shared this a lot at I perform at a lot of the open mics in San Diego, and I've always been very open about, I've had complex PTSD since I was about 7, so it's been 20 years now. And last year was when I finally went to, beginning of last year was when I went to a program, so it's been a year, and I've also been sober for a full year. Woo! Thank you. But as much as I would love to be healed, 100% healed, it's still something that honestly, I'm kind of prepared for a long time, if not the rest of my life, that I'll have to always work through. And right now it's been a really rough time. And so I want to go back and read to you guys something that I wrote when I was at probably the peak worst, right before I went into program. And after that I'm going to read something that's a little more hopeful. So that'll hopefully be my pick me up. I wish I could have been strong enough to face you, to tell you the truth. But with truth, I fear comes hope, and I didn't want to take that away from all of you. Lately, I am just so tired. I don't know how much longer I can go on like this. Burning like a flame without the fire. Every day I live in fear. Fear of those around me, fear of my thoughts, and mostly in fear of myself. I've been struggling so much lately, physically, mentally, spiritually. I can remember from far back feeling the oncoming of a psychotic break, feeling like I was near the breaking point, near the end, feeling I've known all too well. But this kind of episode, this new breaking point, this feeling I have now is something I've never felt before. Because even in those past fleeting moments, I still felt fear, drama. The drama of the tears, the torn fight feeling inside of me, the friction, the seeking out for attention that held hope, still that there was something worth staying here for, something worth fighting for. But this time, I feel the end nearing slowly, as if time is no longer a concept in the face of despair. With no other emotion left to be had, no drama, no tears, no attention, no fight, no fear. I know it's wrong to think, it's wrong to say, I carry it, sorry. Oh my god, I forgot how hard this is.
Got it?
I know it's wrong to think, it's wrong to say, I carry it with me every day. Every moment when I laugh, when I smile, when I speak, it never leaves. Like a shadow, it follows me everywhere, even when I sleep. But I can't tell anyone. It wouldn't be appropriate, because once it's said, once it's truly heard and taken seriously, it's a weight no one can fight off. A weight of 1,000,000 tons, and I couldn't do that to someone I love. I couldn't be anyone's burden anymore. I won't be. I don't want to hurt anyone anymore. I don't want to be this lonely. How do you be real when the most real part of yourself is consumed with such darkness, such sadness and guilt? Everyone I ever loved or cared for has either left, been pushed away, or doesn't care enough to keep what we've built. And maybe at the end of it all, I really am the one to blame. Because those were all my choices, right? Choices I made. Choices to be in the places I've been, see who I've seen, live where I live, cultivating the same love, the same friendships and relationships with no truth, no real depth, because I never allowed them to see what I could not accept. None close enough for me to say, hey, care about me, hear me, I hurt too. Instead, I sit there putting my phone away, asking questions. I listen, I offer myself, I look into the eyes of those hurting, I sacrifice what I can, everything I have in me for them. And after it's all said and done, we all just move on. Move past the moment without blinking an eye, with no more tears left to cry. I wish I could be able to see it, see the light that is out there, the other side. But when does fighting every day become living? How does fighting for every other breath you make the next breath you get worth living? An eye for an eye, the same most commonly used with taking, but now I've realized goes also with giving. One for one, a day for every day suffered and alive is another day gained. Gained to suffer again. I keep trying to push through, but when will peace come? When will my peace come? All I need, all I want is you. I'm sorry to those who have tried. I know you did what you could with your time. Mom and Dad, as you hear my cries, know that I truly apologize. You gave me all of you with as much as you knew, and I want you to hear me as I say thank you. I want you to know I truly tried to. I will forever be with you. Thank you. That was sorry. That was hard. The second piece that I'm actually going to leave it up to the audience. I have two different pieces I couldn't decide. One is called The Garden and one is called The Waiting Room.
Oh, the garden.
Garden.
Okay.
Lisa, I just wanted to reflect at first with your first poem. They're both good. They're always so good, and I'm so glad that you signed up. Are you still glad that you signed up?
Yes, I am.
Does it feel good now, sitting back down?
This happens every time. It's so healing. We're so avoidant of the things that heal us the most.
Yeah.
So I feel much better. Thank you.
That's comforting. Otherwise, I feel like complete shit. I didn't have to do that. So thank you for making me feel better. Essentially, it's self-serving. It is so unfair that with addiction, it seems like it's the only one dynamic where we hold people hostage for being transparent. It's like the one unfairity where the trauma is so big and so evident that it should elicit so much compassion because of its evidence. But instead, it's like you're more beaten by judgment because it is worn brighter and more intense. And it is such an inferiority to have, it seems like, longer lasting punishments and an inability to grow out of moments or seasons, the way that we all are able to revolve naturally in seasons in privacy. And I think it's just really detrimental to society when we don't celebrate what is happening on the outside so loudly and dramatically in all its complexity, right and wrongness, that at least we're not celebrating its transparency and its invitation for us to interact with it. Because otherwise, the subliminal message is that we're insisting that everything just happen in private, real nice and clean, you're more forgivable that way, and we won't have to talk about it at Christmas. And that's really damaging. So I just want to honor you for what you've been through and say that I hurt alongside of you when I hear you hurting for the relationships lost in your rawness. Because we just don't deserve to be left in our rawness. And I'm really happy that you're here in it now and finding comfort and healing in it, because that's the correct way to be loved and invited to the conversation, which you are so invited and needed and celebrated. So thank you for your piece. I think we have Susan next, yeah? Yep. Susan, you have been waiting, you have been wonderful. I'm so happy to see you. I've been seeing you since the Asphalt. It's very nice to have you back here, my dear, and I love the color orange on you, looking so dazzling.
Now for something different, somebody older. So Stacy, I don't know who you are, but thank you for letting me go before me. We've got dogs, I guess tonight, that need attending to, and don't want to keep the dogs waiting. Picnic. Ramon invited me to the electric picnic. LED fried chicken and 60-watt potato salad. The lemonade was highly charged, and the ants set off sparks as they inched across the picnic table. Ramon invited mariachi singers, their trumpets shocking the sleeping crows, and all the dogs hung out by the barbecues. Ramon invited his cousin, Chewy, a righteous Latino hipster, all skinny jeans and Buddy Holly glasses. We danced to the music and drank beer, played chase with the kids, and took a nap under the trees. It was a lovely, lazy afternoon. Until we lost the fuse. We lost the muse. Thank you.
These are two beautiful pieces. I want to get on that electric picnic life though. That sounded fun. That sounded like some Jimi Hendrix playing, you know. Oh man. Somebody did yeah. It's volume 4. You know?
Plan it out.
Yeah. Thank you,
I'll just
Susan.
got the cover ready.
Huh?
I'll do the cover.
Oh, let's see the cover.
Okay, so first of all, thank you everybody for coming. Thank you for supporting the new book. Love to see everybody out here. I did do the cover art for the book. Sunny and Anthony wanted to do something about past, present, and future. And I wanted to dissect that, and in the food world we call it deconstructing. This is Barley. It's really his show. You're all here to see him. I just want you to know. Everything is about him. Anyways, so our new project, by the way, love the shirts. Why didn't I get a shirt?
Yeah.
What?
I just
Wait,
found out about
this? What is this?
Communications are not represented.
We gotta get the funds first.
So realistically, I think the project and the core of this project that we've been talking about is the power of words, right? And whether it's the written word and we're taking it into ourselves and it is healing us, or it is having us have new revelations about ourselves, or if it's a spoken word, if it's us taking those words out of ourselves and bringing them into the world. Words have meaning, they have power, and they make us make different choices than we would have otherwise made. So if, depending on the words that we use it has completely different meanings, even if they're very similar. So somebody threw out, as the visual person that I am, I love typography. I love seeing the word. I think is also so powerful, and it like how you frame it and what you do with it is so important. Like you can have like a really strong word, but when you put it in really thin writing, it can lose its meaning or have new meaning or like whatever, right? So, anyways, my assignment tonight. Who threw out caboodle, by the way? Can I see? Okay, so you're to blame. Got it. Okay, cool. We'll be sharing words later. So I know that my only frame of reference for caboodle is like the whole kit and caboodle. And currently I'm very hungry, and and I was thinking like, I really want like a big bowl of food right now. So when I think of caboodle, I thought of kaboom and noodles. Caboodle. So serving noodles, hopefully that's in my future in the next, 15-20 minutes. I think in the future what we'll be doing is I will be live painting these things as people are coming up and doing their poetry, and slowly I will reveal the power of the word as people are writing their poetry and talking about these things that are really touching everybody's hearts.
Cool.
Thank you guys.
Next up, JC.
I love Verbatim books so much. I'm so happy that this is happening here. Hopefully by the end of the summer, I gotta get that.
I'll never forget how you held me like you were getting paid to, and how you made me stare at our living room mirror until the sight of my own reflection didn't solely just disgust me. And then, of course, I'll never, ever forget how quickly I started to cry, how I watched, glassy-eyed, as tears upon tears caressed my skin. The same skin I'd been so embarrassed to live in, with such tenderness that it was obvious to me then the only reason my tears chose to exist was to make up for the absence of my own attention. And I'll never forget how this one small, single thought fought for its life. For the smallest chance that maybe I might finally choose to see it. A riddle I couldn't solve back then, but somehow knew I'd eventually get it right. How can it be that even when I refuse to hold my body, it still keeps holding me? Thank fucking God for curiosity. Fuck, wait, just one more. I'll never forget how even though my mind would under no circumstances just shut the fuck up about all the different ways I could hate every body part I have, somehow I still heard every single word you said as you read off 97 reasons why those big ass hips live rent-free in my head. Benefits from, and God fucking forgive if it's me. My point is, thank you for teaching me that the best embraces I'll ever feel come from the very same body I tried for so many years to conceal. Thank you.
So bear with me. If any of you guys see my voice, call 1-800-GREG's-VOICE. And tell her I'm sorry. I'm sorry for the things I said. Come on, I forgive you. I remember the first time I saw JC perform poetry at the Acid Vault when I was first just coming out and performing myself and meeting everybody in this world. And JC has always been this force that's so strong, like a tornado that could just blow down houses, but this softness and this kindness and the strength that comes through makes you feel like you're not being attacked, but you're being loved and forgiven and disappointed about all the things in this world. And she stands up for all the soft things and the soft people and the beautiful things in this world, and she speaks to it in a way that makes your goosebumps and the hair on the back of your neck goes up, and also makes you want to take to the streets, but again in a way that's like, man, I love you. We could all do better, and we could all love better, and I know life is hard, and JC captures that in everybody. And you're right, there's the shit end of the stick. I don't know who's pooping on sticks. But there's a shit end and then there's the nice end of the stick. And then, that doesn't even seem sanitary, but I'm just so glad I'm on the feathery end of the stick with the potpourri. And that was such a beautiful poem, and I'm such a huge fan of hers, and if you know her poetry, I recommend it. J.C. Aldrich Poetry, or I don't know what your Instagram is, something like that, right? Is that how I do?
So good. Now it's your turn.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. And normally, if you guys know me, I'm a fiery rainbow of positivity and love, or I really try to be publicly. But on the other side of the fence is, a very dark struggle with suicide and self-destruction and self-hate. And I've never really felt like I could give harm to others, but I always felt comfortable giving harm to myself because I own myself, and that's the only thing. If I could destroy anything, I could destroy myself. And so this was a poem that I collaborated with JC, and I think it's a good one because a lot of times I hide behind my animation and my voice, but this one I can't because my voice ran away. So this poem is called Somebody Once Said to Me. Somebody once said to me, tenderness is kindness through strength. She was sitting on my couch at 3 a.m. on a Monday morning. I made her repeat that sentence 3 times because the way she spoke felt more intimate than the way it feels to remember who the fuck I am after God slaps me across the face with the same bottle I just drank. And that's what I learned, that access is intimacy. It's funny because growing up I had this English teacher, and I always remember how she'd say, Greg, just fuck the rules and write what you're thinking. And I wonder if when she said that, she wasn't just talking about how we speak, but how we act. Because people react to my art with words like, seeing you be you creates space for me to be me. And if I didn't fuck the rules, maybe there wouldn't be anything left for you to see. Even when the space for me to be me can only exist after I shake hands with my shadow as they pass me another line, because the kind of isolation I seek might feel like self-destruction to you, but to me, it feels like being set free from what society has decided is right for me. So when she said those words on my couch, it was like a real-time reminder that I'm still right on time. Because yeah, I might be out of my fucking mind. But at least I'm fucking kind and weird and wild.
Let's go.
How you doing? It's like her gaze was a mirror to my soul, not just a reflection, but a revelation that peeled back years of grime I'd collected from letting my sense of self be negatively affected by a set of standards that I never agreed to, but always made broken guarantees to. And what was left was a pile of archetypes I had created as defenses, when in reality the only protection I ever needed was coming to my own damn senses. And while I found myself disoriented in a labyrinth of doubt, cemented on the floor like a kid finding out they weren't a kid anymore, she blurted out, "You bitch!" Even when you try to repeal your innate abilities by creating these narratives and living in a state of false fragility, you've mastered the art of attracting in infinite possibilities. Thoughts like you think isolating is the cure, but it's really just where you'll go to rot. And baby cakes, you don't deserve these gifts we've left in your hands. You're a hedonistic hot mess surrounded by empty stands, But yet, here I am.
Out in such a way that you're like, fuck, this is my darkness, this is, you know, this is hindering me, but it's also something that you leave onto you that you're like, no, this is my comfortable spot, that, you know, like you're taking it with you along the way, all through, or like throughout your life, but now you're just like, fuck it, man. Like, nah, I'm not, like, that's not me anymore, that's not something I want to have. And so you're like finding yourself in the whole poem at the end, and just reminding yourself that being kind, weird, and wild is fucking awesome. So. Yeah. Welcome back, my good sir. It has been a long time since we've seen you. How have you been?
Oh, not saying. Right. Great to be here.
Yeah.
Just, I'm gonna read you a couple excerpts from my life story, Intellectual Suicide, Poetry to Die For. How stately doth the truth compare to any words that man can bear in his excuse for deed or thought, or being caught where he should not have sought to tread. Panic tortures one to give feeble excuse for why he lives or dies or hurts or robs, or why it's right, or I'm just doing my job. While something suffers in that attempt, in the placing of one's contempt in a path that would preempt the truth and further tempt a man from what he does, or what he was, or if his cause helps us all, or if it's meant for man's downfall.
Like your development of the poem about the president and, like, you know, the parties. I love that poem because just it makes you really think what you know, how no matter who you vote for, like just the process that comes into it, and how we are divided but stand for unity in that sense. And just everything that you were saying in the poem just makes you think a little bit more. So thank you for always making us think. Really, always making me think.
I'm gonna share it.
It's
in
Sunny's
case Missy
turn.
wants to go home.
And submission.
Woo-woo.
So here we go.
Thanks, babe. All right. You can clap. Like. All right. So the word was verbatim, and normally I don't write. So I have a couple books I published 10 years ago, and then ever since hosting, really my energy, not depleted, but it's tied into feedback, right? To just holding space, and when you do start to host and you're in this arena of facilitating, you recognize damn, my poetry's, it's not on the same par as most of our headliners, you know? And I have just spent so much time uplifting, but it is, normally my creativity just comes in this space of just talking. But when I think of verbatim, my husband, I was like, verbatim, what do you think of? He says, someone says it verbatim. And then I thought, oh my God, that's so perfect for poetry and for open mics and for processing trauma. We want to be experienced verbatim. I want you to hear it verbatim. I don't want you to miss my trauma the way I said it verbatim. Please don't insert your own words. Please don't see your own trauma. Don't gaslight me. I need you to process me and let me finish my sentence verbatim. Are you going to stay all the way through the poem verbatim? Are you going to get lost and insert other things while I'm just busy wanting you to hear me verbatim? Will you let me finish my truth? Because somebody else had inserted their lies and never let me know when I was little it was okay to come out. Just be seen verbatim. There's the short. But I also wanted to write a little love poem. My husband so much. And prior to meeting each other in 2019, that was a year of wandering around, romantically broken and looking for love in similar places as verbatim. Long nights at verbatim.
I've been lost in this book that's been turned upside down for hours, and I seek through blurry eyes for truth, for connection. But really for him, I'm lost in this bookstore that's covered painted murals hugging me from the outside in, and it's 2019. I've just been in this anticipation of you, stalking the local sales section, wanting to pick out the best red-tagged, marked-down, bobblehead ironic gift for the future meeting of you. But I sometimes feel like I'm that marked-down, ironic bobblehead bobbing my head all around town, empty in every conversation with men. Until the neon night of a Tuesday open mic opened up, and I felt like my heart was being reflected back in words verbatim. And the moments were made all at the start of the end of the show. And now we host headliners inside bookstores, no longer ripping out ransom pages. We're tithing our time and our love back to the walls that spell out books, love stories, seats of eyes in front of me now, watching me as I'm just loving you. The end.
Thank you. It's been a lovely, indulgent night. Thank you for letting Anthony, Aubrey, and I play around with our idea that we want to bring to the airport. But without further ado, we are in the middle of a badass open mic. So who we got next? We got Robbie. Because you still here, you make it into an...
Subject of this poem. Despite all the cold numbers of our era, the what do you do's for a living, and all the dyed blondes across Southern California, Skid Row and the Madhouse, a respectable tradition.
Everybody can share and connect with a different part of the poem in a different way. And just know I'm never gonna do you. I got you. The artist. Everybody give it up for Tim.
Thank you, I'm Tam, the artist. I'm also in the anthology. I have 3 poems in the anthology. Thank you.
Bye, the anthology.
Living a retired lifestyle, but I'm still young. They say you only live once. I want to have fun. Enjoy it while I'm here. Distribute love, have no fears, have no regrets. Spend majority of it happy as opposed to upset. Take nothing personal. No one's perfect. We're all living with flaws that only time and inner work can fix. Go within. Never look outside of yourself for happiness. Believing in you is the key to success. Always push for more. Avoid settling for less. The world is yours. All you gotta do is go for it.
First of all, don't we love Tim so much? I want to get that I was give a damn attitude. Every time you come on, I'm like, I'm taking a piece of that, a piece of that. The expansive perspective of just being and experiencing life objectively and not having everything just pushed upon you, but just being in what you're defining your reality and taking back that strength is so fun to see on stage because you do it in such like a fun way, but it's so strong and powerful, and it's very contagious. So I love hearing you read and watching you perform. It's impressive how many poems you've memorized. We have gone over, we always go over, but the Verbatim Bookstore is so gracious with us. They are giving us an extended half hour. Thank you, big round of applause. Like, buy books. Buy books, okay? People don't stay working late for free. Buy some. We gotta be resourceful with the extension of time. We got 30 minutes, we got a big fucking list, so we're probably gonna cut this down to 1 poem per person, but don't fret, don't be too upset. Next Thursday, we are over at Queen Bee's. And so if you got cut short tonight, come over, sign up for that open mic, and we'll get you on next week.
When you see bright neon, what do you think of? Party favors and nights at the club, or maybe July 4th? For me, Neons are the red and blue whales outside my Brooklyn 2-bedroom apartment where I lay on the floor. Forehead bruised, blood streaming from my closed eyes and broken nose as they break open the locked door. Heavy footsteps. Voices. Iska, where are you? I open my eyes for a split second and whisper, Thailand? I'm in Thailand? Pulse, heartbeat, I'm dizzy and tired and everything's moving so fast. Code 3. And as they push me on the stretcher, 2 men stay behind to search for clues. Suicide attempt, they tell each other with a solemn nod. Only the antique furniture bears witness to last night's happenings, to the voices in my head telling me I'll never get out, that who decides life has more value than death, and if time is just an opinion, then who decides when it's time? And next week, when I wake up, I'll be angry. Angry I'm still here, angry I tried, angry it didn't work, and I'll never see neon as bright again. Thank you.
Also, in fairness, what a fucking great poem. And mental health and experiencing hospitals and disassociation is something very familiar, and such a great way of displaying the healing that happens in poetry when you are able to go back to these places that are daunting and we could run away forever from, but it's so amazing and transformative if we can go back there just safely, narratively, describing, actually if you slow it down, like from self, what it was like, and describe it, comes out to this work of art, this complex work of art, while at the same time like really honoring the hero's journey that went on to be able to produce that work of art. So thank you for sharing. I can't wait for your headline. Really can't wait for your headline. Who do we have next? Bianca. Bianca, also another headline again. We're not doing favoritism, it just so happens to be.
Something to ring in the boot era, which hopefully doesn't last too long. This is called I Choose to Swim. I can't get this thing out of my head, trying to chase good enough, when I should be okay with, hey, at least I'm not dead. Brain worm, never going to stop burrowing deep into my soul. I need to cut that piece out. Mental, creative, therapeutic lobotomy to set myself free. I'm not free. Is anyone these days? My mind holds me back like a caged animal. So much I can't say. I want to shed this skin, who I've always wanted to be. No longer crushed by what might, what could be. Scars that don't fade, they just keep on reappearing. I may be bruised and broken, yet I refuse to let myself drown. If I fake it till I make it just enough, there's that false sense of security. Pat myself on the back for being oh so tough. Still, I buckle at the thought of being a full-fledged adult. 34 years later, you think I'd know more than enough. Self-loathing bubbles up more than I'd like to admit, haunting me. My entire being needs cleansing. Burn the purple flowers, I'll always choose to live. I choose to swim. My anchor is life. Sinking is not an option. Thank you.
And sometimes it's really fucking hard to swim. Like, metaphorically and actually. Yeah.
You got 5 kids, you know, to do this sort of thing.
Yeah. But, you know, sometimes it's easy just to get to just stay below the surface and just let yourself just come completely down, and it's actually harder to swim to the surface to get air and just stay in that, you know, emptiness. And I applaud you for continuing to not let that, you know, bring you down. And the end of that poem is so fucking great, and thank you for being a part of the Anthology. We love you. Come on up and bless the mic.
Gabriel!
Hello, my name is Gabriel. First time here. Just want to say a quick thank you to Alicia. I volunteered for the Fringe Festival, and I recognized her from the Slam when she went to attend a show, and she told me about this, and I showed up. So,
I'm so happy you did.
yeah. So, truth be told, I was saving this poem for someone. I was gonna wait until me and her were just somewhere, just us, and I was gonna recite it just for her. But I can't do that anymore. So I thought I would share the passion that inspired this poem with the world. This poem is called I Love You More Than Music, more than a light bulb flickering, clicking on in the dark, more than Eureka. I would strum strings empty-headedly for hours, eyes up at the ceiling, searching, failing to songwrite, and I would love it more than what little I knew of everything. I met you suddenly, blindsided, and through a daze of stars circling around my brain, I regained my bearings and reoriented. These walls once were a gallery of priceless evocations, invitations to a transcendent elsewhere that you called home. Why bother gazing at brushed paint when gazes can be shared and form gateways to beyond, breathlessly beholding the dance of your pupils as you wonder. I love you more than dance. How was I even moving before? Dancing isn't dancing without a partner. I love you more than movement. I've had crowds of people trust me with a show and I would deliver. They would stand and clap and call out my name, save it. I'm now a one-man show for a one-woman audience. I love you more than stage, more than live. For my final curtain call, I will bow and trade the vivacity of entertainment for doing absolutely nothing with you. I love you more than poetry, more than rhythm, the seamless fit of a Brian White labor over syntax, nitpick punctuation when an everlasting, immaculate, invincible truth flows effortlessly from my mind when I'm with you. Your voice is all the music I will ever need, more than music. I love you more than song, more than art. I love you more than this.
Excellent talent over there, Gabriel. That was incredible. I love the energy that you bring in throughout your entire body as you are performing, and what you're like self-generating from is so in line with the poem. Like, I am giving you everything, and I really hope that though you didn't get the experience that poem was written and intended for, I imagine that you're going to go out and you're going to keep performing it, and then you're going to draw in the one that was meant to hear it for the first time while performing it in your full authenticity and vulnerability and self-suspended, loving way that you just did right now. That was a really great performance. Really happy to meet you. What do we have next? Quickly fix this. How do we correct it? Ezio. It is nice to meet you. Is this your first time?
So my name is Ezio Gaia. I'm a neuroscientist by day, and I guess by night as well. But I'm a photographer, and I've been writing poetry since '94. And I just put out my second book, but I don't ever really come in public. So I just tonight I wanted to do it because I've been watching Alicia and you guys on the internet. So I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go up and do it.
Look what Alicia's like that.
So yeah. Very encouraging, and I appreciate it. So these pictures correspond to the poem, so it's kind of hard to really understand it unless you see the pictures with it too. Yeah. So I had a positive one and then kind of a sad one, I guess. But this one's I'm just going to read one. So it's called "Sincerely, Dominique." Each day we meet. Or is it each day I meet you? Whichever. Thank you. I can hear your thoughts. Or is that another classification? I seem to be okay. When I approach, you never smile or ever look back. I tip so kind, not like before. You've never noticed even if I held the door. The beautiful woman I've truly searched for. Never acknowledge me. Now that I'm gone, what have I done? For you are the beautiful woman with bad teeth. You never smiled. This made me think. You never loved me, which made me leave. So that's all I had. Yeah, I
I want to read the whole fucking book. I'm sorry. It was such a deep, simple poem that has so much feeling and emotion behind it. now I want to see the pages, I want to see the pictures and correspondence of all of them. And please come back next week and give us.
Thank you.
That's so awesome. Yeah. Jasmine. Jasmine, come on, rock the mic. Thank you so much.
Hello, everyone. This is actually my first open mic night. Thank you. So I'm going to read you a poem that's called One Day. I want the cliche love, to dance in the rain without a care in the world, to fall asleep every night knowing there's no one else I'd rather be with. One day I will have that, but I wish it could be with you. I want to know the feeling of your hand gripping mine, to know what kissing you would be like. Would it be gentle, rough? Where would you place your hands? On my back, hips? All I want are answers, but I'm a coward, afraid to find them. I wish I can move on from the idea of you, of us, because you never look at me the way I look at you, and I need to be fine with that. I will be, one day. Right now, I'm not fine. Wanting you hurts, loving you hurts, and all I want is the pain of not being yours to go away. Thank you.
Her voice, total confidence. I feel like you're scamming us.
No, I'm not.
You did really great, and not just for a first timer, but for somebody just displaying their feelings at the mic. Oh, hardly a coward, right? Like that line in your poem, here you are like trying something out for the first time, making your way into this bookstore, finding your way on the list, and putting that poem on display is such a brave thing. So clearly today is the day that that is no longer relevant. We now have Luis.
Sorry, I didn't expect to be up so soon. This poem is called, this is the poem I always wanted to write. This is the poem I always wanted to write about trees and precipices in the Pacific coast in the state of Oregon, about mom who loved dad, who passed away when it was too early to know what fatherhood is, about how the individual doesn't exist, Luis, whoever he is, and you, whoever you are. It would be easier to dream our faces away. This is the poem I always wanted to write, about trees and precipices, the preference I picked up along the coast of Oregon, the state that supported my 2 feet Monday as I walked the face of a jagged mountain, harried with pine precipitous stamp, and wind-lashed paths led me to where the Pacific cleaves at land, a lover pressed to her lover. This is the poem I always wanted to write, about mom who's my precipice. She's made of industry and resilience, the way she works at her early light, spoon-feeding residents at the memory care facility she's worked in for over 15 years now, and earned close to nothing doing it, and who still managed the house, bought it like she bought my love with patience. This is the poem I always wanted to write, about father who mom talks of often, how he had victories and failures. The chief victory among his failures is that when he was 15, he headed to the States, tied himself to the rails of a train with his belt to avoid falling in sleep, despite he clung to a noisy cart in a desert that grows icy at night. I imagine him struggling to keep his eyes open as the stars wove laurels over a future he dreamed himself into and would now make his reality. This is the poem I always wanted to write, about how Roz pulled up to where I sat with Soph in the sun on a lawn toward dusk. Then after a bit of friendly talk like, hey, I liked your poem, we got to discussing how our philosophy denied the individual, because to be a single person simply doesn't fly when time blows us away in sleep and we wake to mirrors that frame a slightly different person, the hollow total of our pronouns, and I'm not who I was when I wrote this. Thank you.
That was amazing poems. I felt like we were on the train, like just in it with you. Just so your flow and your performance, like what am I thinking of? cadence. Thank you. Fuck.
Yeah, I won't help you.
No, you don't fucking look at me. Your cadence gave so much to the poem as well, because we're like hanging on the edge of seat above the next word that you're about to say, and it holds so much weight in inducing your mom and telling about your dad in such a magnificent way that literally wants us to hear another poem. And thank you for writing that one. So that was a great one. Thank you. Lorraine.
This poem comes from a collection of sonnets I'm working on. So they're unrhymed sonnets, but they do follow a pretty formal structure. When I breathe, I think about my body, changing with every moment. Changing, I think about my cells, replacing themselves. They're shedding the me I no longer am. They're becoming the me I always was. I am, they are. I am, they are. I am inseparable from all this flesh. Inseparable from the air in me. Inseparable from the air outside. Inseparable from all that we are. I want it to mean much more than it does.
But this one's called Mary Oliver. Mary Oliver held my hand as we raced trampling down the hill to watch the pronghorns graze. We laughed as they chased the rogue coyote away, and I was filled with such a joy for life I thought I might burst. I had always dreamed and screamed into the night of the freedom I would one day win, but never planned what I would do with it when plopped into my hands like a newborn kitten, deaf and blind thing with claws and whiskers. The wildest of my dreams could not have imagined being brought to tears by deer running across a grassy swath, so far from the place I learned to make myself feel small. Thank you.
You come bless the mic. And then also in the anthology.
You only completely broke our heart at the template, so
This is my second time doing this, and with luck, one day I'll lose count. This one's called Love is a Plate of Hard-Boiled Eggs. There's so little I know in Arabic, which has always been a shame, and the blame of which rested on my parents' shoulders until I was old enough to learn on my own. And though I tried sincerely, it never stuck to the tongue like honey so sweet as it did for my older sisters. So, the summers spent in the Sudan were never without the
Egg. Mushtaqeen means I miss you. Ana بحبك. I love you. Ma salam. Goodbye. Life is hard, but sometimes we find a pair of hands have peeled enough away. There's nothing to see but the good inside, the soft and glimmering wonder of the world, each day's golden sun. And sure, there will be tears, because love is a plate of hard-boiled eggs, and it's always served with salt.
like maybe the most amazing poem I've ever heard, just performed. And I know, like Anthony and I are just losing it over here. Your tenderness and your recall and your natural ability to make poetry weaved in the middle of those moments has completely memorialized her and you in like all our hearts right now in the most intimate of ways, that you have somehow broken that memory apart so we each can experience just a little bit of that beauty that you have and had. And I love the way that you are carrying this out. Please be a headliner. I could feedback you forever. This is really not fair that you went at the end. Elaine, I'm so sorry if I'm fucking this up. Elaine, we're a half hour past late. Our time passes. Yeah. Go for it.
Okay, I'll just do the short one.
You held my face so soft it might have shattered. As though you already knew how fragile you would make me. In your hands, I was molten glass, knowing that once you put me down again, I could be scattered into shards. Because being held beneath you, I knew I was only beautiful, like a sword kept on a chain, then worn on your ribcage. To you, I was only beautiful, and I confessed to myself that I was glass, desperate to be stained. And every night against your ear, I felt myself evaporate into language, like a song stripped of its breath, almost entirely too pure. Thank you.
That's a wrap, everybody. Thank you so much, Verbatim. Thank you for staying. See y'all next. Yeah, go buy some books.
Please buy the Anthology or buy any book in this bookstore.
And we'll see you next week, everybody.